tanks on here, okay?
Okay.
They're both full, minus what we use to test your appliances and whatnot, okay? Important thing to remember is make sure you turn both tanks on when you go camping, okay? Because this has an automatic changeover in it. Right here, if you see this arrow here, it's pointing to this side, okay? So it's going to draw from this tank.
But as soon as that one's empty and it flips over.
Yep. You point it to this side, it draws from that tank. If you put it in the middle, it draws from both. Don't do that because when you're out, you're out, okay? So put it on one side or the other, open both tanks. When this side, it's drawing from this tank, so when this side goes empty, it's going to automatically switch to this side for you. This is not going to turn, okay? This is going to stay pointing to this side, but the green will go red, letting you know that the tank that it's pointing to is empty. At that time, you would flip it to the other tank, take everything off, and take it, have it refilled. Okay? So pretty important. You do have a DEKA deep cycle battery installed. Most of the items on this coach will run off your battery by itself, okay? There are a few exceptions, and I'll get over the exceptions when we get inside.
Can you like have the lights, use the lights all night, like, you know, for a week, or you'd have to recharge it?
You'd probably have to recharge, but if you're
But you said all you have to do is
plug it
back
into your truck
the
or plug it into the wall, and it recharges your battery.
Okay.
Okay, this one's also equipped with a battery disconnect. It's underneath your propane tanks here. Okay, so if you store it, you can turn it off. Okay, you're just going to flip it off. Anytime you travel, it has to be on because you want that to charge your battery while you're going. The only time you're ever going to shut that off is when you store it. Okay, in the wintertime.
What about leaving it for a month or so?
Shut it off. Because you'll come back and your battery will be dead. Okay. Because your carbon monoxide detector and your propane leak detector that's in this is wired directly to this battery. And if you don't shut it off, that alone will kill it.
So that means you want it on whenever you're using it.
When you're in it, absolutely.
Okay.
Only time you want to turn it off is when you're not using it.
When it's in the storage place,
or in the wintertime, shut it off and take the battery out. Okay. You have a power tongue jack here. Up is up, makes the front of the trailer go up. Down is down, makes the front of the trailer go down. You also have a small little work light up here. You also have a work light here. This work light here, the switch is on the bottom. Okay. Just so you know where it's at.
So this switch is just for that light?
Yes.
Okay.
Should this motor ever fail on you, the motor in your slide or in your tongue jack, they give you this short little jack here. You pull this thing off the top. You can drop this in and manually crank it. Okay, so that's what this is about.
That just pries out of there?
Yeah, it just pulls right out of there. It's all greasy in there, so don't pull it out of there unless you have to. Okay, keep everything greased. Okay. This is your propane cover here. It just slips over the top. There is a bungee strap here. You'll notice that there's a strap on the front, or a little ring on the front. There's also a ring on the back. So you can go underneath and bungee it. Now make sure it's bungee before you leave. Now what's nice about these new panels, you can get to everything without taking this off. You can get to both of your valves. You can also get to your changeover. The only time you should ever have to remove this tank is to refill the tank. Okay? It makes it a little easier for you.
And then
you just tighten them down a little bit. I'll make sure that gets back on for you before you leave. All right? We'll go over the tongue jack a little bit more once we get your weight distribution hooked up to the truck. We're going to give you a weight distribution demonstration at the end, and then we'll go over that a lot more, okay? These here are latches so you can put your head into storage without it slamming down on you, okay? So we already know what this jack handle's for, and that's for your power tongue jack. This one here is for your leveler jacks. Those are meant to level and stabilize the coach only. They are never intended to lift the coach off the ground. So if you get a flat tire and you use them to jack this thing up, they're gonna fail, it's gonna fall. So don't use that, okay?
Do they give you a jack?
They do not. Okay. I recommend that you this has a double axle, so there's actually a set of ramps that you can buy. This is the safest way to do it. Okay? Say your front tire gets a flat, okay? You put the ramp under the back tire and you back up on the ramp, which also lifts the front tire off the ground. Okay?
And
then you still have 3 tires on the ground. Well, 1 on the ramp and 2 on the ground. Much safer. That's the easiest way to do it. Okay? Otherwise, you can get a...
that means we have to have them ramps in the vehicle at all times in case you get her flat on the highway, right?
Or you can just get a bottle jack or a hydraulic floor jack and leave it in. Okay? Very important. Use jack on the frame only. Okay? frame's right here. Never on the axle. Okay. If you
Where's the frame?
the frame is this. You can see it's an I-beam. It's
Okay.
huge. It's right here.
Oh, okay.
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 So if you ever do have to jack this up, you're going to jack it up on the frame, never on the axle. You don't want to do it on the axle because if you put a bend in that axle, it's going to chew up your tires every time you drive.
Okay. But what about putting it right there?
That would be fine too because it's
Okay.
attached to the axle.
Because that's
Okay.
a little low.
Or attached, yeah. It's attached to the frame.
Okay.
So that's okay. This, your brass one, is if the motor in this ever fails, you can hand crank it in, okay? The
Okay.
hand crank is on the other side. I'll show you where it's at
Okay.
when we get to that
Can
side.
you show us those ramps?
They're inside. I'll make sure when I
Yeah.
take you back inside after the
I
demonstration.
know some people had issues with this net, like when you do the power and you slide in, that it doesn't go flush, that it gets out of,
out of alignment.
yeah.
It happens to all slides over
Okay.
time, but
Well, I
right
know
now
that-
you're fine.
Okay, when
Okay.
we came to look at it and I pushed the button to take it in, when we came out, it was like this much gap opened up.
Okay, well, we'll run it in and out
Okay.
and make sure that
All right,
everything's
just
been
wondering.
fixed
Okay.
for you, okay? You have all the way through storage on this side. You have a couple of higher areas here that you can put some higher things.
Okay.
This has an onboard water tank, okay? So if you guys do rustic camping or off-grid camping and they don't have water, you still will have water.
Okay.
The way you're gonna fill this tank,
Stick the hose right in there.
stick the hose in, but never put it on full blast.
Okay.
Put it on about halfway. You don't want the water to get in faster than the air can escape. It's a
Okay.
non-pressurized tank. It could rupture your
Okay.
tank.
Okay.
Okay. If she's with you,
So you
lay
got
it
to
in
remember
there.
that only
I'm,
halfway.
She's recording it.
I'm recording it. You probably get a lot of people doing
We
this.
do. So if you're with him, you can push a button in there and tell him when the tank's full, or when water comes out. It's
Oh,
full.
I got you.
Okay.
Oh, okay. As long water can come out,
Yes,
and it won't hurt
won't
it,
hurt
not.
anything, no.
As long as you don't have it on full
On full blast. The only time that you're going to use this tank is if you don't have water available wherever you're going.
Right.
Otherwise, you'll
Well,
never
we
use
want
it.
to do that though. Go
And you
rustic
never
camping.
travel with water in the tanks.
You have an
It's-
F-150, you can.
Okay.
It just adds
But I
weight.
I mean, it doesn't put weight on
No,
the
it's
tank.
What year is your truck, boss?
What year? Oh, 2008.
Thank you.
I just got it. So.
It's just gonna. You can. They're reinforced to where you can travel with water.
But
if you
that's
want
just going
to.
to add
Okay.
weight for
It is
gas
going to add weight, but
mileage.
that F-150 is not going to have any problem with any
Okay.
with that
Oh,
tank. So
if
if
we
you
had
need
it-
to, if you need to
If you
fill
know
it,
where you're going, it's not going to have water then.
fill it before you go. Yep,
Okay.
absolutely. Okay.
Okay.
So if you look here, it says freshwater drain. So this is how you're going to drain that tank. There's a little valve right here. Okay. Right now it's open because we filled the tanks to make sure everything's good.
Okay.
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 But if you ever do use your tank, that's how you're going to empty it right there. Okay.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna
So that way you should always empty it, and then you won't have to wait when you're leaving.